Did you just do the face?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, this is going to be so weird because I never record with you around, so now I'm getting embarrassed.
Don't worry, I'm nervous too.
Okay, welcome back to my channel, guys. We have a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, my husband, Tim. And so I thought that we would go over the birth story. Of course, you guys saw the vlog, and if you haven't, go watch that. We'll just kind of go through what we're thinking, feeling in the moment, just update you on that. And about the aftermath, I kind of didn't go into what happened at the end of my birth, so I was going to touch on that just a little bit. Starting off, before I went into the labor, my question for you would be, did you feel prepared? Did you feel, like you had a cat in the bag?
I totally felt like we were prepared for the birth up until the birth started happening.
Okay, so what made you feel prepared?
So for the 9 months leading up to the birth, Jordan had me watching, I think we scoured the internet for every birth vlog and any video relating to a birth. So I felt pretty knowledgeable just on all the videos that I had seen.
Yeah, and so I personally, I worked at Amazon while pregnant, so I listened to multiple books on Audible. I also scoured the internet. I just got so much education. Like, I felt very prepared in that way. The only part that I started getting nervous about getting close was like, okay, now I actually have to do this. Never done it before, don't know what it feels like, so that was a little bit of anxiety there, but feeling prepared in the process, I did. I did the breathwork classes. I really focused on breathing. We did the Bradley course, so that was like a really 12-week in-depth course about birth, so we felt really prepared. But, just the anxiety of okay, I really got to do this now. So when we went to Walmart, we were getting this stuff for the next week to potentially start help inducing myself if nothing had happened. And we get out to the car and my water breaks. What was your thoughts? How did you feel?
Holy crap. I was not prepared. I thought we had another week.
Yeah.
And we were going to do it under our own, time frames, but it was just, holy crap, I didn't know what to think. Tons of emotions running through my head.
Yeah, you're like, this is it.
This is it. The big game. It's here. It's time.
Yeah, so that anxiety was like, oh man, here we go. There's no turning back now. We were totally not prepared. I was mentally preparing myself for a 42-week night before I had like 2 hours of sleep. I slept so bad, and I walked a fortune that day. And I prevented myself from taking a nap because I was like, I'm going to get a really good night's sleep tonight because I'm not having that happen again because I was so tired. Well, that was my mistake. Rest as much as possible in those last weeks.
You just never know.
Yeah, you just never know. We actually usually go grocery shopping on Friday, so I went into labor Friday night. I was like, I'm tired. Let's just go tomorrow. That was a big mistake because we were not prepared for food for the midwives or anything. That's why we had to go to Target when I'm like, 4 or 5 centimeters dilated, like in active labor. Obviously, the Target trip, not much to say about that. Don't recommend going to Target
when
you're
in labor.
Yeah, it's just
stressful.
It's a stressful thing. But then we get home and he's so great. The plan was to nap and eat and just get as much rest as possible. But, my labor was quick and had different plans. He was great, made food, and then I couldn't eat it. But it was go time for there. How do you feel you handled labor?
I think I handled it pretty well, especially for being the first time. But no matter how many videos you watch, it just can't prepare you for how it is. So.
Yeah, I felt like he was a great support. He was there pretty much every second, close to the end. He had told me after the fact because, I wasn't paying much attention to him during, what he had to do. He's like, when it was getting close, he's like, I gotta pee. And so he went pee real quick. But it was just funny. He was there literally every second. So it was really helpful, and it got me through, just helping me breathe. And there was a point in the video where I was like, I can't, and he was like, yes you can. So that was so encouraging. And obviously I was going through transition in that moment. But yeah, so the pushing, I thought was going to be the easiest part. All the birth vlogs, all the birth podcasts, a lot of people were like, that was the best part. It was the most relieving part, the most controlled part. And for me, that was just not the case. I hated pushing, and it hurt the most. I feel like I could deal with a contraction through breathing, but when you're getting down there and pushing and you feel that ring of fire, I just wanted to retract and run away, but obviously your body's not going to let you do that. So that's something. I just want people to be prepared for that, because I heard a lot of people being like, yeah, pushing was the best part, is the most relieving part. And that's not the case for everybody. As far as positionings, what position did you think that I would give birth in?
I figured you would probably do it in like the doggy, or like the whatever you want to call it, doggy style. Whatever you want to call it.
Cat cow, hands
and knees, whatever.
Doggy position for the X-rated version.
Yeah. Or like on the ball,
Yeah.
But it was neither.
Yeah, I was really thinking it was going to be a squat position.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Or
squat.
The hands and knees that opens your pelvis the most. But, I was just so tired. It was too much even for me to stand for the most part. I just couldn't handle.
Your body was just too tired.
Yeah, I was just too tired. Like, I could not handle my body weight at that time. So that's why I was between on my back and on my side, like 45 degree. That's just what had to happen, because my body was supported by the bed. So that's just how it worked out. I would have never thought anything surprising about labor.
Yeah, it was way grosser than I thought it was going to be. Actually, I knew it would be gross, but it was definitely as gross as I thought it would be. And it was definitely way smellier than I thought it would be.
Shit happens.
Exactly.
I think it was everything I expected it to be. So we had a surprise at the end. Everything went well. We came out. Everything was fine. And then they realized I started losing quite a bit of blood. They weighed it, and it was like 1,000 milliliters according to the weight. So that's a lot. My midwife said that essentially, since I was in labor and it happened so quick, my placenta was just so tired it didn't want to do the clamping down that it was supposed to. So we had a little bit of blood loss. They had to do an IV in me and do some Pitocin. So one of the questions someone asked was, what was your game plan for things if they went astray? Well, I had told my midwives the weeks leading up to this, I said, I am not going to the hospital unless I am dying or my baby's dying. Like, I'm not going. And so luckily midwives are equipped with medicines and things to control bleeding and things like that. First I did Cytotec because I didn't want the shot in my leg, but then she's like, hey, your blood pressure is really low. We need to do an IV. Is that all right? Yeah, that's fine. And they're like, okay, so since we're doing the IV, is it okay if we go ahead and just do Pitocin that way? I was like, through the IV? Heck yeah. I was like, that's way better than the shot in my leg. So they did that. They got it under control, and they monitored my blood pressure to about 8 a.m. They were great. They were equipped for all that. They were there longer to monitor me than the birth.
Definitely would recommend doing a home birth and having midwives to anybody, because it was a great experience.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because we actually, the week before, we had, looked into just, birthing on your own, just, him and I. And, it's just way safer to have that medical personnel there, because, he would be like, you're bleeding a lot, but we wouldn't know if that was normal or not, because, this was our first birth. And even if it was our second, third, whatever, however many kids we have, you just never know. And it's the safest to have the people there, and they're equipped with the things that need to happen.
There's this time during the birth where you tore and blood shot out, and I went pale white, and I wouldn't have known if they hadn't have been there, the severity of what that was.
Yeah,
definitely recommend having some professionals there.
Yeah, and that happened because he was coming out with his hand by his face, so it kind of, what she said, it filleted my inside. So, that's fun. Postpartum was a little bit more difficult recovery because he had to assist me to the bathroom for the first at least
5-6 days, really.
Yeah, I'd say like 3 to 7 days. I think 3 days was when I felt stronger, but he still assisted me for at least a week, almost 2 weeks, because my hemoglobin was really low and we had to take I literally had to take 20 vitamins to get it back up. There was a scare where it was I needed an infusion, but I ended up not because my body just took over and recovered. That's it. That's the in-depth details of the birth story. Okay, I thought that was the baby, but it's just the cat.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cat sounds like the baby.
Yeah, upset baby.
Yeah, he's just a big old baby himself. Very needy. Those are the details of the birth story. How do you feel about parenthood now?
It's been really cool. I might get some backlash over this, but for the first few months, it was pretty boring, actually, with a newborn and all that. But now he's becoming way more aware and talkative, and it's becoming a lot cooler.
Yeah.
So I like it.
And he's been great the whole time. He's interacted with him from day one. I mean, skin to skin, everything. He pulled him out, so that's pretty incredible in my opinion. Yep. So he's doing great, and I love it. I think it's incredible. I think, going through life prior, you just don't know the joy that you're missing out on being a parent. I think that's just something you can't even comprehend until you're in that season. It's really great, and working jobs and stuff, I was always thinking what am I gonna do next? Where am I gonna go? I was never actually satisfied with what I was doing, and so thankfully there he is. So we gotta wrap this up.
Now it's how many more kids am I gonna have, not what's my next venture.
But now it's I feel like I found my purpose, and I'm very blessed to have a great husband who's, willing to take the financial load. So I'm really grateful for you. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that was helpful and exciting to hear Tim and Tim's side of it from the man's point of view, because it's completely different than, mine. Yeah. You're a great birth partner. You're a great life partner. Well, all right.
I hope we kept you captivated.
Yep. All right. See you guys.